So, ooh. Now I'm here as a presenter, and you already know me, but again, my name is Dominik, and now I want to talk to you about clayboards, more specifically about clayboards as a fire protection system for multi-story timber buildings. First of all, I think we need to have a look at the German building code requirements. I think most of you know the classic fire resistance requirements for building components like walls or ceilings in the building. They depend on the height and width of the fire compartment. And there we have these three categories: fire retardant, fire resistant, and highly fire resistant. And we know then we have 3 time slots, 30, 60, and 90 minutes, and some criteria that need to be met, which are the load carrying capacity R, the integrity E, and the insulation I. So, more easy said, if we have a building with the fire resistance requirement fire resistant, the building components needs to carry load, remain intact, and limit heat transfer for 60 minutes. On the other side, we have additional requirements for multi-story timber buildings for the fire protection system if we want to use timber structures as load-bearing structures. There we need to delay the start time of charring. That's the TCH. And again, that's for 30, 60, and 90 minutes. In the current Eurocode, this criteria is met if after the fire protection system there is a temperature below 300 degrees Celsius. And so if we reach 300 degrees Celsius in the test, after 30, 60, and 90, we know charring is starting. So, and where do we know whether it's 30, 60, or 90 minutes requirement for those multi-story timber buildings? We have our Musterholzbaurichtlinie. I won't translate that because I don't know the English translation. I don't know if there is any. But depending on our timber structure, whether it's timber frame or solid timber, and on the room fire compartment size, so if we have a standard compartment size or we have smaller than 200 square meter, we can reduce. We know if we want to build a fire resistant building with the fire resistance requirement fire resistant, we need to line or use a fire protection system that delays the charring by 60 minutes. Also, the Musterholzbaurichtlinie gives us guidelines on how we can achieve that using gypsum plasterboards. So if we need 60 minutes, we can use 2 times 50 millimeters gypsum boards. Now, one big question is, keeping in mind that we have a steady growth of timber buildings in Germany, and we want to build more and more, hopefully. Do we have enough gypsum? And our yearly consumption of gypsum is around 10 million tons in Germany right now, every year. Half of this is so-called technical gypsum and is a byproduct of the coal combustion, and it's called Rea gypsum, so 4.9 million tons Rea gypsum. With the energy plant coal phase out in Germany by 2038, this won't be available anymore. So we have 0 million tons of this. So we need to compensate using natural gypsum. There's only one problem, because our not natural gypsum most lies in environmentally protected areas, and the German Federation for the Environment and Nature Conservation has called the complete stop of natural gypsum by 2045, the mining of natural gypsum. So then, if everything goes like that, you never know, we won't have natural gypsum and technical gypsum in 2045. There is one option to use recycled gypsum, like the used boards we already used or in plasters that we can recycle, but right now the technique is not sufficient to meet our supplies. One possible solution then might be the use of clayboards. Let's see. The Musterholzbaurichtlinie gives us a guideline now that we, instead of gypsum boards, we can use any other non-combustible material if we have the sufficient proof. Right now on the market in Germany, we find 4 clayboards that are non-combustible. Those are the ones. And I also have them with me, so we can pass them around. Maybe here and so 2 of them. Now we have one more problem, because out of those three, we have one board, this one, which is also going around, who has timber fiber on the inside of the board. So there is still an ongoing discussion whether it's non-combustible in total. Maybe it's still limited combustible. So we might not use this one. And is there already a calculation approach in the Eurocode? Yes, there is. With the new Eurocode 5.2, we can calculate clay plasters and clay boards for their basic protection time, and with this time we can then calculate the start time of charring. But we need to keep in mind that this approach was originally derived for clay plasters, not for clay boards. So they must have a density that is higher than 1,600 kilogram per cubic meter, and all our clay boards that we just had a look, which are possible, are below, except this one that we can't use because we don't know yet. Maybe we can use it, but right now we can't. This clayboard has not the sufficient proof that it's non-combustible, and all the others have lower densities, so you can't take the Eurocode 5 to calculate them. But is this really like the state of the science? No. Let's have a look at this. We have a calculation approach of the Eurocode here. This is the dotted line, and you can see all the circles. Those are the clay plasters where it was derived for. We can see they are all slightly above or on the line, so we are like on a really nice safe side with the new calculation approach. Then we have clay boards that are limited combustible. Those are the light clay boards, they call it. Those have like fibers with hemp or straw inside, and depending on the fiber content and stuff like that, they're like they achieve less times in fire tests or more. And we also see that for thin boards, the calculation approach in Eurocode is fine for those, but for thicker boards, we still have a significant gap. If we then take a look at clay boards that are non-combustible, which we want to investigate, we see that there's still a big gap, which is around, for the lowest test results that are there, is 10 minutes already, and goes up to 15, 18 minutes. So we want to go directly into this area and want to enhance the current regulation and calculation approach in the Eurocode. Therefore, we started our project Bekleidung, funded by the DBU, which has the project goal for application of clayboards as a fire protection system or as a part of a fire protection system. So with gypsum board and clayboard on top. So we already reduced like 50% of the gypsum board usage for all building classes. And our practical goal is till the end of next year, or in 1 year, like end of March, that we have a building component catalog covering all building classes using clayboards as fire protection or as part of fire protection. So hopefully next year we can present enhanced equations and backed by the proper proof of suitability so that everybody can use clayboards as fire protection. It was short, but I hope it was informative. And if you have any other questions, I'm welcome to answer them.